Hello guys, and welcome back to my 1.20 Survivor series. Here we are back on my base. So in the previous episode we had finished with our excavation at the Desert Pyramid. And it took me a while to actually get back here. I had to do about 3 journeys to be able to get all my stuff back. Because I didn't have much space in my inventory. So yes, I did have to do a couple of journeys. So at any rate, so we got here, I was able to relax a little bit. But yes, now I need to sort out my kitties. Because I have, apart from Precious, who was here beforehand. Come along, Precious, let's get you back to your place. It is you're in charge of the courtyard here. Yes. There you go. What? No. Oh, you want to chat with Storm? You want to chat with Storm? Okay, well, that's all very well. You can sit there for the time being. I have a chat with Storm over there. Storm, sorry, guys, because I don't know if you've seen this before, but Storm is my grey kitty, and my white kitty are called Precious. So, yes. And we've got some new kitties here. Right, let's start. Brave Sunny, yes, one of my brave kitties that I met at the Desert Pyramid, which has been fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I already have a Sunny, so Brave Sunny, I want you to go and meet our original Sunny. So let's head off this way, and then I have a nice little post for you as well. Come along. Sunny, I want you to meet Brave Sunny. Oh my goodness, Brave Sunny, get back here. Get back here. Oh my word, what are these kitties like? What? No. I just called him Brave Sunny because he was super brave no. Don't misunderstand this. No, I'm not saying that. No. I mean, I could call him. Maybe we need to talk about your name. Right? No. Don't you worry. I know you're a brave kitty. I know you're a brave kitty as well. I know you're very, very brave. I mean, that's why I've got you to be in charge of my eastern entrance of my base. I mean, this is a very important position. Don't be sad. I think you're an amazing kitty. You're an amazing kitty. Oh, no. Don't you worry. No. I think, I didn't say it properly. I didn't say things properly. I think this kitty here, we're gonna call it something else. Yes, don't you worry. Sunny number 2, come along to yeah, okay, let's go. Come along. Look, because you're such a brave kitty, I want you to be in charge of my nether portal. Yes. Look, there's even a bed here that you can sit down. It's a bit dangerous, but I think because the biome of the nether that I've got here at my portal is just, what is it called, the warped forest, so there shouldn't be any very, very nasty creatures coming through. There might be an enderman or something, but other than that, you should be fine, so you should be, yes, I know, you're very, very brave, but we need to discuss about your name, I can't call you Brave Sunny. I could call you Ancient Desert Pyramid Sunny, but that's a bit of a mouthful. Is there something else that we could call you? What? No, I don't know if that's an appropriate name. Sun God. What about okay, let's take that idea and think about it. So what if we take, say, ancient Greek, we could call you Helios, or if we go for ancient Egypt, we could call you Ra. You're happy with Ra? Yeah, okay, that sounds okay. So you're gonna be called Ra. Yes, I know it sounds like raw as well. Lion kitty. Yeah, no, that's fine. We call you Ra then. Fantastic. Okay. Well, Patty number 2. Brave Patty. Yes, I know you're very, very brave, Patty. You were also an ancient desert pyramid kitty. But I think maybe we need to give you a different name, huh? You don't mind if I don't call you Brave Patty? No? Hello, Patty. I've got a surprise for you. Look here. There's a second Patty. What do you think? What do you think? Oh. Yes, you're both concentrating over there. I don't know why. But yeah, you two couldn't sit and chat about this Vincent fella that you guys know all about, and I don't. So, yes. So, you're happy sitting here and having a good chat? Yes, great. Gruffy, now, I remember the previous time that I had a Gruffy kitty. It was constantly hiding away in a corner. It didn't want to. It wasn't very sociable. How do you feel? Yeah, okay. Well, I've got an interesting position for you. Maybe you can be in charge of my mine entrance. How about that? Yes, good. Come along. Yes, it's a very responsible position. But you're also gonna have your peace and quiet because there's no one else around. Yes, indeed, yes. I mean, next door in the nether base, in the nether portal area, there's the, by the way, the sunny that we found at the desert temple, now we call it Ra, okay? So, you can stay here. Wait. Come along. Gruffy, come on in. That's it. Good today. Yes, you can be in charge of this place here now. I'll be passing by whenever I go downstairs in mine, so I'll be seeing you quite a bit. But you'll have your peace and quiet from all the other animals, and I'm sure you prefer that way. I don't prefer. You are Buffer, aren't you? I can't remember. You're the one who decided to be Buffer. Oh, you didn't? Yes, okay, yes. No, so the other one wanted to be Woofer, and you decided that it's fine to be Buffer. Okay, that's fine. My doggo's here. Jelly, my sweetie. Oh, I've got you. You're sweet kitty. I've got you a little present here. I've got, yes, for you. Just for you. Right, okay, so guys, what are we doing now? Right, okay, so I've sorted out the kitties now. Now what's important is I need to study all the finds that I found. I excavated at the desert pyramid because we need to study it. I came up with a few theories while we were there, but I don't know. I think I kind of got a bit carried away. I have to think a bit more properly about this now. Let me show you here. I've got all the finds. So that's from the wells. The wells were fine. I found all the pottery shards that you could find on those. But in the desert pyramid, I only found one type of pottery shard. Both of those were the skull ones, but apparently there's a whole load. There's 4. So I haven't found all of them. And another thing that I didn't find at the desert pyramid, yes, this one here, the template. There's one type at the desert temple. No, it's called the pyramid. That's what I noticed while we were doing my excavation. It was a grave error of mine. I kept on calling it a temple, a desert temple, but it's not a desert temple. Well, I mean, we don't know. It might be, it might not be. It is a desert pyramid. I kept on calling it a temple, and it kind of biased me. I kept on sort of automatically coming to the conclusion that, the culture here was worshipping kitties, or they were worshipping this or that. But I mean, we don't know that at the moment. We don't know. We need to think about it a bit more. We need to look a bit more carefully about our evidence, and then decide what exactly it is that building was used for. Of course, my other theory was that it might have been a mob farm, more specifically a creeper farm, an ancient creeper farm. Yes. I mean, again, this is something that it needs more consideration. It's not something that we can take for granted. So, let's have a look again at the findings here. So on my book and quill, now this time I've sorted out my screen capture. It's not going to be particularly good quality, but at least it's there, so you can see what's going on here. So that's the wells, and here we go. Whoop. Down here, desert pyramid. I should put a bit of a gap here. Okay, so I've written the curse there. I put the second point that the feral kitties of the area are not scared of people. Very brave, yes. And then I have for the excavation. On the first layer we found TNT. Well, the next thing that I found was in the third layer. It was the emerald. But then as I was digging up the second layer, I found underneath some sandstone, I found another suspicious sand which had gunpowder. So on the second layer was this. The third layer had the emerald, one of the skull pottery shards, another TNT, and another gunpowder, which was really close to the second layer gunpowder. And then on the fourth layer, we're just in one of the alcoves of the room that we uncovered, we found the last skull pottery shard. And what else? And then during doing some test pits around the area, led to the discovery of a hidden vertical underground shaft in the center of the main hall. So I found 2 golden apples, 2 iron horse armor, 2 spider eyes, 6 rotten flesh, 20 gunpowder, 19 string, 16 bones, 1 iron ingot, 1 copper ingot, 7 emeralds, and 1 diamond, and a fair amount of sand. So, what does that tell us? Well, let's think about this. Let's think about it. What are pyramids used for traditionally? From research that I have found out about human cultures, the pyramids have been used as tombs, or they have been used as temples. And they might have been used by other things as well. We can't exclude other uses for pyramids because we don't necessarily know for sure, right? So perhaps some of the mob drops that I found might suggest that it was a tomb because there were quite a few bones and quite a bit of rotten flesh. And you could assume that maybe the other things were offerings. I mean, it might be, you know. We can't exclude that as an explanation. What else? It could be a temple. But is it a temple? What evidence do we have that it might have been a temple? There was nothing that resembled an altar. But I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that it had to be a temple with an altar. But usually they do have one. I'm not quite sure that any of the other items that I found in the desert pyramid suggest a temple. We found quite a bit of TNT and gunpowder. This is what I dug up, and this is what I found in the chests. Yes, I'm not quite sure. I know I kept on calling it a temple, but I think that is the weakest theory. That is the weakest theory in terms of what that pyramid was used for. Now, I had the weird brainwave idea that it might have been an ancient mob farm. What was the evidence for that? So, the evidence was we've got quite a lot of TNT and quite a lot of gunpowder, but that's not the only thing. Now, a lot of the iconography of the temple, you see, I've done it again, I keep on calling it a temple. It's very, very annoying. And it's all in my head. Right, so the iconography of the pyramid was mostly creeper faces. Now, of course, chiseled sandstone does have creeper faces, and I've got some on my own base. It doesn't mean that my base is a mob farm or even a creeper farm. But you know, in total, you know, I don't actually have that many. I have just a few as a decorative part. Now, in that building, it was filled with these things. That's on its own and in itself doesn't necessarily mean anything. But if we take it in conjunction with all the gunpowder and TNT that we found inside the pyramid, and also, I think most importantly, the fact that the feral kitties of the area were not scared of people. It may have been a creeper farm, but how would that work? I have never made a creeper farm, so... So really, to be certain, I should research how a creeper farm is made. Yes. Okay, let's go and snooze. So yes, so the important thing about that is if it was a mob farm, how would it work? How would it work? Of course, if it was a mob farm, it might not work exactly as modern mob farms work. Okay. I think the important thing about this, and the thing that we need to remember always is that you can only come up with only certain conclusions from one side on its own. You can have some theories, and you can say that, it might have been this and it might have been that, and there is a bit of evidence for this and a bit of evidence for that. But you can't possibly say that, this is what it was. No. We need to do some more excavating. We need to find some more desert pyramids, do some more excavating, and see what more we can find. I mean, as I said, from the evidence from the research that I have done in terms of what can be found in the desert pyramids, we haven't found everything. So that is all we know at the moment about that particular site. And I think what's important now is I need to take all of this back to the locals, as I said, so that they can decide what they might want to keep locally and what they might want to donate to the museum. That's it. So that's what we're going to do now. So I went back to the village and I tried to talk to the cartographer, and things were going well until I accidentally hit him. Of course, that kind of put me in an odd position with the cartographer, and also eventually with the entire village. That was so silly of me, so silly. He didn't want to talk to me again. I kept on trying to show it all the different items I found with the desert pyramid, but he didn't want to know. But I thought, well, you know what, I'll wait until the villagers all gather together in the evening, and I'll be able to show all of them the items. They can all decide together. So that's what I did. And I showed them all the different items that I had found. They were quite curious, but mostly what they wanted was the emeralds, which I suppose it's fair enough. That's human wealth for you. You know, I did apologize to the cartographer, and he did eventually calm down a bit. So I was able to chat with it about the deal, which was the following. One of each item that was excavated, including the one emerald, were to be put on display in the pyramid at roughly the points they were discovered. I was a bit concerned about the safety of the TNT, in case of an accident, and of the emerald in case of theft, so I encased them in glass for extra security. Also, in regards to the items found in the chests, the deal was to return one of each type of item so that they remain in context. The rest of the items were donated by the locals to my future museum for display and or storage for educational and further study purposes. So after I did all that and had a final little discussion with the locals, I returned back to my base. Okay, so that's done. But now before I continue with doing the archaeological expeditions, because as I mentioned in the previous episode, I've been having some problems with my inventory. It's just impossible to carry everything. So what I'm thinking is I need to carry on with the actual completion of this Minecraft world. I need to go to the Nether, sort things out, and then go to the end because what I would like to do is make sure that I have some shulker boxes that I can use to be able to carry everything. Especially with some of the expeditions that I'll need to do. I'll need to go quite far from my base because not everything of archaeological interest are within a desert. So I need to go to oceans, and I need to go to not jungles, what are they called? I've already been to a couple of jungle temples. No. I need to go to some forests because I think it's mostly in forests. I believe they might be in jungles as well. I've written it all down in my notebook in order to find some of the trail ruins as well. So that'd be quite interesting. But before I can do that, yes, I need to find the fortress in the Nether. So that's gonna be my next mission. Yes. I won't bore you too much with it because it's probably gonna be a whole lot of going about in the Nether, fighting typical things I need to fight, and probably dying quite a bit because I always end up dying in the Nether. If my hardcore series is anything to go by at any rate. Yes. This is going to be just a kind of quick, we'll do a quick little time lapse on this so that you can see what I've been up to. And then we're going to move on and try to go to the end. But we might not be on this episode because it's going to be a bit too long. So that's what we'll be doing next. We're going to the Nether. So first things first, I gathered all the gold that I had and found a piglin and tried to barter for ender pearls and fire-resistant potions. Needless to say, it also gave me a whole lot of other things I didn't ask for, but I guess I'm getting used to the ways of the piglins. And after insisting, I managed to get a decent amount of the things that I needed. Anyway, after that it was time to have a look around for the fortress. One thing I found out was that my portal comes up at the edge of a massive warped forest biome. So I took advantage of the relative safety of the warped forest to travel a fair amount of distance. However, it was taking a while and I just wanted to get on with things, so I ended up doing a magic spell to find out where the closest fortress was, so I wouldn't end up wandering randomly in the Nether for days on end. Thankfully, there was a fortress between the warped forest and the basalt delta, so I didn't have to travel too far. I also took the opportunity to get some magma cream for future fire-resistant potions. Anyway, grab yourself some snacks and a drink, and let's enjoy my Nether fortress foray with some energetic music. I used my last fire resistance potion, I decided it was about time I made my way back home. But I left the barrel with a few bits and bobs behind for whenever I returned to the fortress, as I believe I only explored about half of it. It was a massive fortress. I'm still hoping that once I get to explore the rest, I will find somewhere a chest with the armor template that you supposedly can find in the Nether Fortress. I was not very lucky with the treasure that I found so far. The most useful thing I found, well, apart from the nether wart and the blaze spawner, of course, were a couple of saddles. I also found some gold and even a diamond horse armor. But, I don't have a horse, so... Anyway, so I went back to my base, tidied up my inventory, and got to do some alchemy. So I've made some night vision potions because I found they are one of the more handy potions to have when I'm trying to shoot down the end crystals. What with everything being dark and trying to see through a carved pumpkin, I find aiming with a bow pretty tricky in the end, so the night vision helps. But this episode is long enough as it is, so we will leave adventuring at the end for the next episode. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope you will join me again in the next episode. In the meantime, have a lovely rest of the week. Bye-bye!